Hello and welcome to the channel. This is ZPFunk, and today we're going to be taking a look at the RC style propellers for the DJI Spark. Now if these propellers are any good, that'll equal huge savings over the official ones from DJI, which come in at around $10 a pair. I found these on Amazon.com being offered by a company called RCStyle, and for just around $12 you get 4 pairs of props in either black and gold or blue and white. What we're going to find out today is if they're actually going to get the Spark up into the sky for some cool shots, or if these props I thought I just saved money on are going to fly erratically and send my Spark crashing into a sign. Well, let's find out. So the first thing we notice is we've got a box. It's got letters that spell stuff on the front, and it's even got edges, tons of edges. They threw in a few sides too. And over here on this side, we have a website. Let's check it out. Okay, so RC Geek is RCU style. I like stuff me style. So let's check on the Spark and see what they're offering. It doesn't seem like they have much going on at this website. It actually looks kind of sketchy, but it says they're having the professional R&D team, so that's always nice. Okay, so that website sucks, but these are being sold as RC style props, so let's take a quick peek at their website. Alright, right away we see Mavic accessories, we see all of the DJI products. Let's click on the Spark and see what they've got. There are definitely a lot more products on hand, including the propellers we're looking for. And it says here they'll set you back $6.39 a pair, which is still cheaper than DJI. And when we change our order to 4 pairs, they come in at just around the price they're offering them on Amazon. So these are RC style props and not RC Geek props, regardless of the packaging. That, or you just can't get them through RC Geek at the moment. Not that I'd want to put my credit card info into that website anyway. Let's take a look at what's inside the box. Box it. Alright, so we get a little plastic case for our props, a definite step up from what DJI gives you, which is a cardboard tube. Yep, just a tube. The tube makes it slightly annoying getting the props back into the protective sleeve without feeling like you might break something. And worse than that, and when you finally do get them in, they tend to just slip out. RC style for the win on organization and protection. On the inside, we have a foam divider that keeps the props held in place snugly and separated into pairs. Let's take a look at these props. RC style gives us a solid price for these 8 props, 4 of them marked with gold rings and 4 of them without. These props appear to be the same dimensions as the official props, and in terms of build quality, they actually seem a little more resistant and less brittle than the DJI props as well. Sounds too good to be true. So how well do they actually function? Well, the first thing I noticed when picking up the unmarked props was that they were all super crusty and did not rotate very freely, even when compared to the ones with the gold rings, which rotated as expected. There could be problems if the props failed to open all the way during takeoff. Stiff props might cause the Spark to flip over and crash, or fly incorrectly and get unstable footage, so I'll show you how we test that in just a minute. But then it got even worse when I went to put on the props with the gold rings. They wouldn't lock into place and they didn't sit flush with the motors. I was afraid they would ruin the tension in my springs and I couldn't fly with unlocked props. But before I chalked it up as a complete loss, I put the props back in the lock position and tugged straight up on them to see if I could get them to snap into place. And after a deep tissue massaging them for a little bit, they'd finally look like they were ready to work, because they were now sitting nice and flush on the motor. And when I locked them into place, they give me a satisfying click. And just to be sure I didn't break anything, I swapped them out for the official props and they still fit perfectly. Now that we have a workaround for that, let's see if these props open up. What we're going to do now is set the Spark here and fire up the motors. We'll let them run for a while, and then we're going to turn them off and see if the props stay in the open position. They do, good. Now we can be sure all of the propellers open, so it's safe to move on to the hover test. We're going to have it hover in the living room and see how well it holds its position. Now anyone who knows about the Spark knows that if flying it indoors is hit or miss, literally. Still, while outfitted with the RC style props, the Spark is holding its position like a champ. So how do these low budget props perform in the great outdoors under real conditions? Let's take the Spark outside and find out. The moment we've all been waiting for. Do the propellers work? Yes, they work, and they work just as well as the officials as far as I can tell, with no jello or adverse effects on recording quality. If you think you notice any difference, feel free to leave a comment down below, because you must have the eye of the tiger and I'd really like to hear what you have to say. Well, I tried to cover everything I could in this review. At this point, I can't tell you if they'll hold up in a crash, and I don't intend on finding that out anytime soon. Now we're going to back it up right here and just let it sit. We've got a lot of intersecting angles here, so we can see how the spark is locked in solid. And you might even forget this video until this pigeon flies away. Where's the pigeon? Pigeon, now. Yep. These RC style props delivered pretty much what I was expecting for the price. A few compromises that are balanced against a solid bargain for anyone looking to shave about $30 off of their total spark budget. So what are the pros and cons? Let's start with the pros. They come in a nice plastic case. You get 8 props for only $12. They're sturdy, they open up when you're ready to fly, and more importantly, they propel the spark into the air, which is mostly what I look for in propellers. However, on the flip side, we found there are some major cons as well. If the thought of stiff propellers and the possibility of having to tinker with brand new props to get them to lock into place sounds like a turnoff to you, then you might want to play it safe and buy your replacements from DJI. But if you ask me, are they worth the $30 I saved over the officials? I'd have to say yes. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and don't be shy, drop a comment down below. Until next time, this is ZPFunk.